People usually say that fitness builds character. In your case, we see that fitness builds careers too.
There is no shortcut to anything, correct?
What is the one fitness myth that you think individuals in the corporate sector live by?
When you start the fitness journey, it doesn't mean that you have to spend multiple hours in the gym.
What's the one thing about your fitness routine that would shock the people who only know you from the boardroom?
I was one time known as a samosa man.
Oh, wonderful.
Correct? My boss used to call to Karandeep, samosa khaya kya aaj?
If you had to delete all
Okay.
but one fitness app would stay, which one would survive?
So for me, it's and that keeps you kind of motivated what others did, so that you are able to see at least you manage your own routine.
Everybody loves the idea of fitness, but the follow through is where dreams die.
So it is not about motivation every day. It can't be motivation, correct? Some days you might not be motivation.
How do you say no to samosas at office parties now? But
So I never say no to a samosa. I always pick it up.
one thing people should start today if they want to get fit.
People just want to see it as a magic. What they have not done it for years, they want that magic to happen in 1 week.
Hello, everyone. Today we're going to meet somebody who runs digital ops and cybersecurity for one of India's largest airlines and still manages to run more kilometers than most of us drive. Trust me, this episode will change the way you look at consistency. Our guest today has over 2 decades of professional experience and is a true leader in his field. But outside the office, he's a powerhouse of a different kind. He has struck the fine balance between professional commitments and something we all strive for, health. He is passionate about fitness, a huge advocate of clean eating, and an avid runner. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Nupur, your host for today. I lead strategic partnerships for PieragCast Consulting. And in today's episode of PieragCast series, we have with us Mr. Karandeep Singh Gandhi. He prefers to be known as Karan.
Yeah.
Hello, Karan. So nice to have you.
Thank you for having me here.
Wonderful. I still don't know how he manages 5 a.m. runs and 5 p.m. meetings. So today is partly a podcast and partly a personal coaching session for all of us. To find out, we'll talk about Karan's fitness journey, learn from his experiences, and ask him for certain fitness tips that individuals in the corporate sector can realistically implement. As a lifelong athlete, I'm hoping to get some of my fitness questions answered too by the end of it. So before we get into the serious stuff, Karan, what's the one thing about your fitness routine that would shock the people who only know you from the boardroom?
So thanks so much for having me here. And before I answer to your question, so I think the main thing which I want to highlight is, the real thing about, when we say health is wealth. I think this is the right time when we really, start talking about what is real wealth. Is it attending the board meetings, or is it about, getting a lot of money? And we have seen recently in our COVID times, people who had money, but they were not able to buy health. So health can only be earned. It can only be, it can't be bought. We have seen a lot of cases where people were not able to survive because their immunity was very, very poor. So I think people who don't know about me in the meetings is that, I would have done a 10 kilometers before I come to attend a meeting. So I think that's the many people who don't know me about this is that I would typically do one meeting with myself before I go and attend any other meeting in the boardroom.
Wonderful. That is such a great start to our conversation. But I want to rewind a bit. Every superhero has an origin story, and let's build upon what you just mentioned. What is your origin story?
So I was always some kind of an athlete, not like you, which you just shared before the podcast started, but I was kind of an athlete, correct? I used to play badminton in the school, represented school in some zonal competitions, and also we won as a team. But after that, the career journey started, and we were all busy in our, office and routine home stuff. Then, like every corporate, correct, we used to go for ATL. ATL is the most popular. It used to be most popular marathons in Delhi, and we used to go for 5 kilometer, 2 kilometer runs during that time. And it used to be a big struggle, how to even do a 2 kilometer and a 5 kilometer. And then I got to know somebody in office, trains you for 21 kilometers, which is half marathon. And I was like, I will never go and meet him again. How can a human run, 21 kilometers non-stop? But then one day I went for a run, for an organized run, but I was not the runner there. And it was a all woman run, Pinkathon, very popular. Milan Soband was the organizer. And I was amazed to see, all women running 21 kilometers. There were different kilometers, but it was 5, 10, and 21. But somehow I saw people or women running 21 kilometers. And that day it shook my mind. How can, anybody for that matter run 21 kilometers? And that is how, my thought started that, I need to train for it. So now just to bring that point, I think training becomes very, very important point. You could pick up any sports, like you play basketball, but before you start any sport, it is very important you also pick up the strength training behind that program. So that is how my journey started, and then we'll speak more about it. But
Wonderful.
that was the point. Then I thought I need to do 21 kilometers, and that is the history now.
That is commendable. So, on that note, what's the one milestone that makes you extremely proud?
So from starting from that point where I was not able to run a 2 kilometer, and I would have done at least in last a decade around 500 half marathons
Oh, wow.
and few full marathons, because I am a half marathoner, but I tried few full marathons also. And the major milestone which I have achieved in running is about there's a pacer for every run, correct? So pacer sets the pace for other runners.
Okay.
So throughout my journey of running, I have learned how to become a pacer now. So I've been pacing multiple international runs in India, which is Tata, Vedanta now. And I lead a group of runners for a specific time. Somebody wants to do a 2 hours half marathon, somebody wants to do a 1 hour 55 hours marathon. So I'm known as a pacer now, not even a runner. So that's a big achievement in itself that, most of the times when runs are happening, they would invite if you would become a pacer for that run.
That is super impressive. Actually, I wanted to build upon that because that was exactly going to be my next thought, that everybody loves the idea of fitness, but the follow through is where dreams die. How do you make consistency look so normal?
So you are right, correct? It is not about the motivation. Motivation can be there for 1 day, 2 days, correct? You'll see somebody and you'll just say, I am motivated to run now. But once you pick up that thing, correct, then you always look for something new to happen, correct? So it is not about motivation every day. It can't be motivation, correct? Some days you might not be motivation, but you still eat food, correct? Nobody motivates you to eat food or sleep or do your job. So it is about, we say it very simply, correct? It has to be a consistent effort. So it has to be part of your daily lifestyle. It is not that running or any fitness activity has to be outside your lifestyle. The way you get up, you eat your breakfast, we'll come to that healthy eating also later on, but it has to be your daily routine which has to happen every day. And it could be any part of the time, any part of the day, but preferably so that you have your own time, so that you are charged up for the entire day. So my preference is always the morning, but then it depends upon people's entire lifestyle or the entire day. Any time is a good time.
Wonderful. So, a serious question on that note: how do you manage days when the bed is plotting against?
If you see runners alarms, they will set up multiple alarms. Now it is
Oh my
not
God.
that we are not human beings, correct? End of the day, we all are human beings and we all like to sleep, correct? It is not an easy job. But then if you want to live a healthy lifestyle, correct? I think the one thing which I talk to everybody is that I think the best gift you can give it to your family is yourself, correct? You should not be a burden, especially when the way we are aging now, correct? And we have seen our parents, we have seen others, correct? The best thing senior citizens of within our families, if they are healthy, so you can imagine, correct, the kind of burden. If they are not healthy, you can imagine the kind of efforts people or the family goes through to support them for their basic needs. So at least if you are healthy, the entire ecosystem becomes very healthy, correct? So if you think about your own children, your own friends, if any one member of the family starts this journey, the entire ecosystem becomes a healthier ecosystem. At least they know. If they're eating junk, at least they know they're eating junk. Not that I was never a junk eater, and my wife always says, now you stop your children by eating, junk foods. तुम जब समोसा खाते तब क्या होता था, करेक्ट? सो नॉट दैट आई वाज वन टाइम नोन एज अ समोसा मैन,
Oh, wonderful.
करेक्ट? माय बॉस यूज्ड टू कॉल टू, "करणदीप समोसा खाया क्या आज?" मैं कहा, "सर अब नहीं खाएंगे दोबारा से." But I think it is not easy, but then once it becomes part of your lifestyle, and if you don't do that one thing in the morning, I regret the entire day. Okay, why did I miss that 1 hour?
Right.
So maybe sometimes I do miss because it's a human nature, but then the next day becomes more harder. Okay, why did I miss? That regret always remains with me.
I totally second your thoughts. The whole idea is what we normalize. Do we normalize junk or do we normalize clean eating? And then that's what we follow through. So I want to ask you that people usually say that fitness builds character. In your case, we see that fitness builds careers too. So, what is the biggest change that you have seen that has come into your work life because of this discipline and rigor?
Okay, so this is a very interesting question, correct? So I think marathon, half marathon, correct? Half marathon is 21 and full is 42, and it is not double of 21, correct? So when we start any runner or any fitness people, starts running, they will do 5 easily, correct? Like we all started. 10 is also not far off. Within a year you reach 21. But then the marathon comes, correct? Because everybody wants to compete with themselves. They wants to do something next, which is the marathon. But then what fitness teaches us that there is no shortcut to anything, correct? If you have to do 21 kilometers, you have to run to do 21 kilometers,
True.
correct? And when we say now we have to do a 42-kilometer, so we have to really train hard. And you will go through all ups and downs, which is a normal project life cycle of any project, correct? There will
Absolutely.
be a lot of ups and downs,
Right.
correct? You would have everybody in the system, correct? Contracting, procurement, everything, blah, blah, blah. And then you would have people angle, of course, correct? So the only thing is that how do you remain calm during the entire project life cycle, correct? Eventually 42 will happen. Somebody will be able to do a slow 42, somebody will be able to do a faster 42 kilometers. But everybody has trained hard. They have gone through that entire journey of training. So I think there will always be ups and downs. People go in fitness also, there could be injuries, correct? Again, similar to this running thing, again, in the projects also, there would be ups and downs.
Mm.
There would be a lull phase, there would be a very fast pace. But I think the only thing which keeps you active is that it will happen. Don't worry. And we have seen that, correct? Project eventually happens.
Wonderful. Thank you for breaking down that process for us because sometimes we overcomplicate the thought in our head. So, thank you for simplifying that and also making it a lot more relatable for our audience. Um, I want to ask you that what is the one fitness myth that you think individuals in the corporate sector live by?
So I think the myth which is about, that I don't have time. I think that's the absolutely a myth, correct? Somebody says I don't have a time. For fitness, you really don't need a time, correct? You have to create time, that is okay. But everybody in the entire day has 24 hours, correct? You also have 24 hours. Everybody has 24 hours. And there are ways and means to it. Doesn't mean that you have to spend 2 hours. And we don't tell anybody, correct? When you start the fitness journey, doesn't mean that you have to spend multiple hours in the gym. It is the lifestyle which you have to correct. And anybody can do 10 Surya Namaskar in a morning, and then that is enough for the day. So we'll talk
Absolutely.
about the entire day routine, but then if you are able to do 10 Surya Namaskar, which hardly takes 15 minutes of your time, that's a good start to the day. If I don't have time, in the mid morning, I ensure I do at least 10 Namaskars, and that is done for me.
I'll jump to an emotional question here. It's wonderful that you mentioned about something particular. I wanted to ask you that how do you say no to samosas at office parties now? Because we want to understand that is clean eating a mindset or is it a meal prep magic that we need to work out?
So I never say no to a samosa. I always pick it up because I don't want people to say, "Yaar, ab to tu khayega nahi yaar ye." Correct. But I typically tend not to eat at the end of the day. But I pick it up and then maybe remove the maida layer from the top and I eat the potatoes out of it. Because whatever you say, potato is a real, I would say, a good food, correct? It's a superfood, I would say. So I don't say no to any food, but then it is about the right portion now, correct? I used to eat maybe two samosas at one point of time, but now I have come to eating a half samosa.
I like the strategic thinking that has gone behind it because I think that's what sustainability is. in terms of decision. And I want to move to a very different aspect of technology when it comes to training and running. We've seen that tech has changed everything, including how we procrastinate. But you look at it very differently. And what are certain data points that keep you honest?
So technology really helps, correct? And we have seen that a lot of time we have seen the SOS message from your watch has gone to the, whatever, and you survived because somebody called the emergency system. So there are pros and cons. But for beginners who are starting their journey, I think they just have to start. Okay, I've seen, when you ask people to start their fitness journey, अच्छा जूता कौन सा लूँ, घड़ी कौन सा लूँ, correct? So maybe that is their maybe motivational point for them to start doing something, correct?
Hmm.
But once you start your fitness journey, and then specifically for people like us who have been into this system for last, almost a decade and a half, things like sleep, correct? How was your sleep during the night?
Yeah.
So a tracker will maybe give you right, your did you sleep well or not? What was your resting heart rate in the night, correct? If you're disturbed, maybe you're fasting, fast, the resting heart rate will go up top of the line. So during that time, if you put your body into some kind of a routine or a harder routine, it's negative for your body.
True.
So those kind of, so I would say correct. Excess of everything is bad. So overtraining, over studying, everything of excess is bad. So if you say okay, I will sleep less because I have to go for a run in the morning, not acceptable. You have to give due respect to your sleep because that is the time when your body recovers. So first thing, anything which who has to start their fitness journey is that how well you sleep. Not that you have to sleep for 8 to 9 hours, but at least minimum 6 to 7 hours you are able to sleep well without any stress. So those are the markers you can take it from your watches, but doesn't mean you're sleeping, reaching home at 12 o'clock, sleeping at 1 o'clock, or maybe eating first dinner at 12 o'clock, then sleeping at 1 o'clock, and मुझे 5 बजे रन पे जाना है जी.
Hmm.
But that you're creating issues for your own body.
True.
So everything has to be structured. So
Hmm.
again, fitness, your office routine, everything has to be structured. If nothing, these things are not structured, then it is of no use to the body.
If you had to delete all, but
Okay.
one fitness app would stay, which one would survive?
So for me, it's Strava
Okay.
because that is where we connect with the community,
Okay.
and that keeps you kind of motivated what others did, so that you are able to see at least you manage your own routine. So I think that's our community of runners who upload their runs or walk
Hmm.
on the app, and you are able to see, and that really gives you a kick, correct? I need to at least do my part also.
Wonderful. So, even the strongest athletes have a tribe. And who are the people in your life who push you to run that extra kilometer and to keep going?
So I think definitely now it has become my own family because now they have all gone through their ups and downs, correct? And now they have realized that the only thing which is going to keep them up and running is some kind of a fitness thing, correct? I'll first talk about my own family, correct? So my wife, I always used to push her. Again, time nahi hai, correct? Some kind of freelancing work she does, correct? But the end of the day, time nahi hai. But now, then she had an incident. Then she had to go to hospital every day for 2 hours. Then she was able to create time, correct? So once you get into some kind of a medical issue, then you have all the time with yourself, correct? Then you forget your friends, then you forget your office that I have to go to doctor, then I'll come to the office. Then all of a sudden you get time. But otherwise, when we were talking about fitness and all the normal routines, then you said you don't have time. So you always had time, but you are not giving that priority to your own health.
True.
Correct. So similarly, your own family when they pushes you as a family, and then there's a community of big community of runners. Correct. I can't be enough thanking to them. So I'll repeat this. So it's a big community of runners. Correct. Not only in Delhi NCR, but maybe I am blessed. I've got big community worldwide. So in my previous organization, when I used to visit international, trips, especially in US, so I'm attached to a lot of running groups in US or maybe Singapore. So wherever I go, I look for a running group there locally, and next day in the morning I'm running there with them. So maybe that's what keeps me going worldwide. And you are all connected again on Strava. So I'm not doing an ad for them, but that is how you are connected, that somebody is doing, and they always invite you for their own runs on Facebook, that this is the run which is happening. They always send you an invite. So I think that's keep me always on my toes. Somebody is thinking about you, and you have to go in the morning and run so that they also get motivated. And as a community, we all grow together.
That's such a beautiful thing to learn. And wonderful. To get to know you a little better, we have shortlisted a few questions and we want to do a quick rapid fire with you before we close. So I'll just start throwing them and you can take your pick. Morning runs or evening runs?
Absolutely morning.
Wonderful. Favorite pre run ritual?
A banana.
One gym machine you avoid at all costs?
Pull-ups.
A fitness myth you want to kill today?
Again, it is about, not doing extra. It is about doing consistent, and I would say minimalistic is the new word which I've learned.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Music, podcasts, or silence while running?
I am a silent runner. I like to see people talking on the road, birds in the morning. I am a nature lover, especially in the morning hours.
Nike, Adidas, or whatever doesn't give you blisters.
I think the other line which I've learned is we always now invest in a jockey,
Okay.
not on the horse. Correct. So it is about your strength, and then it could be any horse or it could be any shoe.
Wonderful. One thing people should start today if they want to get fit.
I think they have to see that it's very, very easy. It is not a difficult task. People just want to see it as a magic. What they have not done it for years, they want that magic to happen in 1 week. And after 1 week, they say, मेरा weight नहीं कम हुआ, मेरा कुछ कम नहीं हुआ, correct? And we have seen, although the way Indians are growing, the entire country is growing, but at the same time, if you see some stats, correct, 24% of Indians are overweight. US is much advanced, 44%. And I have got few running doctors who are specializing in obesity, the what do you call diabetics for children now, and it has become a specialized field. Can you imagine? Because if you go and see your own homes, not even going outside, correct? What are our children eating these days?
Absolutely.
Pizza, noodles, waffles, ice creams. That is it, or chola bhatura or whatever, correct? If they still want to eat that, but I think it is becoming very, very important for all of us as of now to, at least start eating clean. I know it's not going to be easy, but at least 70%, 80% clean and 20% junk to hum bhi khate hain, correct? But I think when I go to any bakery shop, I used to be a biscuit or a bakery lover. I used to get a bucket or, tray full of biscuits when I used to go to a, shopping store. And now my wife has to, request कि एक tiger biscuit तो ले आना कम से कम यार. So I don't buy any biscuit, not that. But then what is the content of that biscuit, correct? It is all maida and chini, correct? And there's so much of sugar across. Whatever we are eating every day is just sugar. So I think the entire ecosystem has to work because we are not moving. Now we are sitting, correct? We could have, if people have to start towards the fitness journey, we could have done this podcast also standing, correct? But since we both are fitness
Yeah, I think the next one
influencers,
has
so
to
we can
be on
rest.
the track.
We can rest, but we can sit. But then sitting is new smoking now, correct? We are not moving. Then there is a quick commerce on our apps. First, we used to get milk from outside. Then we used to get grocery from outside. So we used to walk. So people in the corporate world, especially, I think it is easy for them if they can just do, for a 1 hour. If there's a 1 hour meeting, they can stand for 40 minutes, sit for 20 minutes. Correct. Now I have a standing working session. So mostly I'm standing and doing my work. Or especially, because most of the things are done on the phone. So you are on the call. So if you are on a call, why do you need to sit and take the call? At least move. So in our office, we have a track, like a airplane track, right?
Oh,
So most of our meetings are on that track. कि भैया बैठ के नहीं करेंगे. Let's go towards the track. It's a full round circle of at least 400, 500 meters. So you take at least 20, 30 rounds in 1 hour meeting. So that gives you a quota of the entire day. So it's
That's a
not
very
difficult.
interesting thought.
Not difficult. If you have all offices are on 10th floor, ninth floor, at least go on steps at least till fifth floor, if not on the ninth floor. So if you have to make it happen, you can make it happen the entire day. You don't need to hit a gym to do your fitness.
Wonderful. I've definitely made note of one thing, that our next conversation will be probably on a track while we run together and we try to have this conversation. But
Absolutely.
thank you so much, Karan. This has been extremely energizing, yet a little bit guilt inducing at the same time. Thank you for reminding us that health is and fitness is not a hobby, it's a lifestyle that we build one choice at a time. Thank you for reminding us that you can be at the top of your career and still prioritize health. I truly believe corporate India needs more examples like you. Examples like you.
So absolutely, and so thank you so much for having me here. It was a pleasure speaking about. This is my favorite topic. If you want me to come anywhere, this is my favorite topic to come and speak about. And people who are listening to us, if they want to connect with me, they can connect with me on Instagram, which goes by Karan_runs, and I'll be happy to coach them, educate them how to start their fitness journey. And also few things like we have seen now people are not dying because of eating less, they are dying or having issues because of eating more. So we have to balance everything. Excess of everything, which I said, correct, excess of everything is bad. And the best gift you can give to your family members and corporate is healthy you. So thank you for having me here. It's a
thank you
pleasure
so
talking to
much.
you.
We really hope to see more people like you and hope to stay connected. Thank you so much.
Sure.